Hey, this is Brian with the Balanced Dog, and this morning I'm out here with Manu, who just came in yesterday, and we're just doing our um, long line work this morning, and he is a 6-month-old Rottweiler. And so what I wanted to talk about today is what I call incremental learning. And what I mean by that is every time I bring a dog out, I'm looking for that dog to succeed. I'm trying to set that dog up to succeed in whatever it is that we're doing. You know, he's a little mouthy, but I'm going to work on that at some point. But through the long line work, I'm just asking him to follow me, and actually his recalls really well. And so those are things he can do really well. He can succeed at them really well. So that's what I'm always striving for, you know, in the beginning as I'm building this relationship. But, you know, as we get deeper into the training, then obviously we're going to put more demands on the dog. But as far as what I mean by incremental learning is that I want to take the dog to a point where it gets what I'm asking it to do, and then I want to work it a little bit deeper. So once I see the dog clicking on whatever it is we're working on, then I want to take it a little bit further, so that we're having these really successful repetitions. But what I'm looking for is where the dog starts to break down. And that's the critical part that I think sometimes is missed. Because with him, you know, he was already breaking down after about 15 minutes. He wasn't recalling anymore. He was getting highly distracted. I was having to use more pressure on the leash because we're just using long line right now. And he was starting to grab the line, so that's a frustration that's starting to build. And so, you know, at some point we have to say, okay, if I push him any further, then there can be this sort of misinterpretation of now the dog's being disobedient. And, you know, you have to really be able to see that and draw the line and say, no, the dog is now becoming frustrated. And it's just like, you know, in people, which I've seen, you know, in a number of workshops that I've taught and with mentor students that have come and mentor with me, there is a point where you have this diminishing returns, you know, and so you see that with the dogs too. So with students, you see it, they start to glass over in the eyes because they're learning so much information, new information, but this is something I do on a daily basis. And so I always have to be cognizant of that, you know, and that, are they becoming overwhelmed, the students that is, and do we go back to something rudimentary, something basic, to let their mind kind of settle. And then it's important that they have that downtime, just like we give dogs, to go and digest on the new information. And so my point is that if I'm bringing a dog out to work on whatever it is I want to work on, I'm not expecting to get 100% with this dog when we come out the first time, or the second, or the third, or whatever. But I'm looking for increments of improvement, 20% this time, another 10% the next time, so on and so forth. So I think if you kind of stay true to that and understand where the dog's limit is, and then when to kind of call it, you know, on that session. And just like dogs, people can just be having off days. But I mean, if you don't recognize that point, then you run the risk of either starting to shut the dog down, where then learning and retention starts to just dissipate altogether, or the dog starts getting, you know, a little frustrated. And again, that can be misconstrued as the dog's now being disobedient, and then you can actually start pushing the dog into a fight behavior, or you can push them into an avoidance behavior, you know, which would be more kind of a shutting down behavior. So anyways, this is what he's teaching me this morning, is that we've reached a point of saturation, and you can see he is peacefully laying here after doing all this long line work. And this is a good time to wrap it up, because this is how he's leaving his session, right? So next time you get a new dog in, or you're in the process of working the dog, just be cognizant of that. You know, if you're pushing that dog too hard, what is that dog showing you? So incremental learning. You're not going to get 100% the first time out. You won't get it the second or third or fourth time out either. Again, it just depends on the dog. He's got really high pack drive, right? So, you know, he's going to get things much quicker because he has that willingness to want to work with me. So that's going to make it much easier. So I hope that helps next time you're out starting a dog or working with your own dog. Thanks for watching.